Giants training camp day 2 just wrapped up, and we're about to break it down on today's show. We have some injury news around Darius Slayton and a rookie defensive back. We're going to break that down. Also, Darren Waller, he has been the standout MVP for the Giants so far, and once again, he has been unguardable. There's also a rookie that is struggling for the Giants on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to tell you if I'm worried about that at all. We'll talk about that. We'll also give you an update on all of the position battles that are going down at camp. I love what Brian Daboll is doing to try to breed competition. We'll dive into that. But first, I need you guys to subscribe to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. One, so you get free content every single day on Big Blue, but also so you can help me defeat the Dallas Cowboys report in a subscriber battle this month. Back on July 1st, we told you guys we were in a subscriber battle with a couple of NFL channels here at Chat Sports, some NFC East rivals, and the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. We're dusting the Eagles. Sorry, Chase Sr. Tom Downey, we're coming for you, though. So if you hate the Cowboys and you want free Giants videos, hit that sub button right now. You're tuned in to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's get into it. Offense. They won day 1 of Giants training camp. We broke that down in yesterday's video. You can go check that out. But day 2, it was all about the defense. The offense came out a little bit slow in day 2. They picked up their speed and really the tempo and efficiency as that day went on. But it was the defense who were the clear day 2 winners of the second training camp practice. We'll break all that down. Let's start with the injury news of the day. Darius Slayton, he limped off with a foot and ankle injury, but he did return in 11-on-11 drills, and he had a catch over the middle, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes or so. But I just want to say that I understand that this is training camp and you want to get the reps under your belt, but I honestly don't like that an injury happened to Slayton and he came back onto the football field. Look, it's training camp. It's July. It is a couple of months away from week 1. If you have any sort of injury, I don't think this is a situation where Slayton is just dying to make this roster because his spot is pretty much solidified. You don't need to just tape it up and get back out there. Let's play the long game. Let's get ready for the season. Let's not push it. But it is good news that he came back and looked good, but it does worry me just a little bit. A guy that did not practice was the 7th-round selection, Gervarrius Owens, the defensive back out of the University of Houston. In day 1, he collided with one of his teammates, so maybe it's just precautionary from this Giants training staff, which I like, but he was not at practice today, which is interesting because he is in a position battle with that starting strong safety, but I like that if he is injured, he was not on the practice field. Also, big news again. It was true in day 1. It was true in day 2. Nobody can guard Darren Waller. You see this picture right here. He is wide open, and he has been the MVP, the shining star of Giants training camp so far. I was talking with our Raiders Report host the past couple of days, and I'm like, I can't believe that we got Darren Waller for a half of what we traded Kadarius Toney for. Pick number 100 for Darren Waller. That is an absolute dub. And he was great today, even in 11-on-11s. It just wasn't one-on-ones. It wasn't just 7-on-7s. Darren Waller, he started 11-on-11 drills today with 3 straight catches over the middle. Wink Martindale, he did Wink Martindale things, and he put pressure on Mike Kafka's offense. But Daniel Jones, he stood in the pocket, and he found big 1-2 in the middle of the field a couple of times. Bobby Skinner, who works for Talkin' Giants, another great Giants podcast on YouTube and all platforms. Go check them out. He is at Giants training camp, and I thought what he said here was really cool and really informative. He said he had Daniel Jones at 9 of 11 in the 11-on-11 drills today with 4 catches from big number 1-2 Darren Waller. The middle of the field was open for big games from Darius Slayton as well as Daniel Bellinger. He also noted that Xavier McKinney had an interception in 7-on-7s on a pass that sailed over Darren Waller. So Jones throws his first pick in 7-on-7s, which I don't mind. I like taking shots in practice because it's practice. You got to get those reps under your belt, and you got to build that chemistry up. So I am not worried about an interception by Daniel Jones in 7-on-7s. But what I am worried about is how damn freaking good that Darren Waller has been looking. And I know Giants fans have been kind of on the fence about Darren Waller. He's missed a lot of games. The Raiders traded him. There was rumors that people didn't like him in the Raiders locker room. Ever since he's been a member of the Giants, he has been a standout player and a standout teammate, and it's time for this fan base to back their new star tight end. Type his jersey number 1-2, down in the comment section. We told you at the top of the show that there was a rookie that had been struggling, and that is the first-round pick, the 24th selection out of Maryland, Deonte Banks. And I don't know if struggling is the right word, but he's just looked like a rookie. Because he is a rookie. He's just looked like a rookie. He's had some really good plays, and he's had some really not so good plays. In day one, he gave up 2 touchdowns to Isaiah Hodgins, got beat a couple of times in one-on-ones, and he's somewhat struggled when it comes to these press man situations, which was weird because that is what his calling card was coming out of Maryland, but I am not worried at all when it comes to Deonte Banks. I liked what Dan Duggan said here. He went on to mention that Nick McLeod, the veteran DB for the Giants, who shifted to safety in the spring, is back at corner to start today's practice, and he smothered a Darius Slayton route during one-on-ones in the red zone to force an incompletion, and Colin Johnson beat Deonte Banks twice in one-on-ones. Banks missed a jam on a fade. I'm not worried about this. He needs these reps. He's never played against wide receivers that were National Football League good, so he needs these opportunities. He needs these snaps. He needs to, just get in the groove of being a National Football League player. I'm not worried about it for a main reason. This guy is one confident SOB. I listened to an interview that he had on YouTube last week, and just the confidence that he exudes makes me feel like he doesn't care about the last play. It's always the next play for him, and he's got the talent, and he's got the ability to be solid in the NFL, and I still believe that he will. A corner that has stood out so far is Trey Hawkins, the late-round selection at Old Dominion. He matched up in a one-on-one situation with Bryce Ford-Wheaton. Bryce Ford-Wheaton tried to run kind of like a deep in route where he just traced the backside of the end zone, and Trey Hawkins mirrored it. He ran the route for him, and he came away with an interception. Good to see that a young defensive back in Hawkins is playing really well. I do think he's got some NFL potential, and he flashed it on that play versus Bryce Ford-Wheaton. We got more news and info to get to in just a second, but first, I want to know, do you guys want more Giants training camp videos? Do you want to know more about what's going down at practice every single day? If you do, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon right now so I can go tell the bosses, yo, we want to talk real football. We want to talk Giants training camp. So if you want that, hit that thumbs up icon right now. Let's get into my favorite part of today's show, and that is an update on the training camp position battles. We talked about it on the channel on Sunday, that there were going to be positions that I had my eyes laser focused on at the beginning part of training camp, and it was the center position, left guard, slot corner, and at strong safety. And in day one, these were the players that got those starting reps in those position battles. Ben Bredesen was the starting center. Joshua Ezeudu, the sophomore interior offensive lineman, got those initial reps at left guard. Darnay Holmes, the veteran, was the starting slot corner. And Jason Pinnock, he was getting those starting reps on the back end of the defense next to Xavier McKinney. But what I love what Brian Dable did was every position that has a position battle, he let one guy and one person start in day one, and he let another person start in day two. John Michael Schmitz got the starting reps in day two. Ben Bredesen moved from center to left guard. Cordell Flott, he got the starting slot reps today. And Dane Belton was the starting strong safety. So I love that Brian Dable and Wink Martindale and Mike Kafka are giving these guys an open competition and letting them really get their feet wet as a starter and seeing how they do compared to the other player. I think it's a great way to go about these position battles. Dan Duggan of The Athletic also said this: David Sills and Rodarius Williams collided on a route away from the ball on the last play of practice. Sills got the worst of it and wasn't happy. He couldn't tell if Williams gave a little extra in the exchange. Chippy end to day two. And that's what you want to see at training camp. You want to see battling. You want to see raw emotion. You want to see two dudes just duking it out, going head to head and just trying to make the best play and the best rep to solidify their roster spot. I'm sure that this will be not the last time that we will have some chippy activities at Giants training camp. I wanted to talk a little bit about Amani Oruwariye, the free agent acquisition from the Detroit Lions, the corner for the New York Giants. He was a guy that was I think it was a top 10 guy in interceptions, not this year, but last year for the Lions. He's someone that struggled by getting penalized a lot. He's a real handsy defender, But he had a nice interception today off Tommy DeVito. It's also a cornerback battle for who's going to be that CB2 on the outside. Oruwariye trying to take advantage of the opportunities in training camp. Play of the day, though, it was Colin Johnson. Catch of the day versus Darren Evans. It was pretty much a jump ball, back shoulder fade, and Colin Johnson just went up and snagged it on top of it. And we showed you earlier, Duggan told you that Colin Johnson beat Deonte Banks twice in one-on-ones. And with Wan'Dale Robinson, Sterling Shepard, and Jamison Crowder on the PUP list for the Giants, there's an opening for somebody to make this team at the wide receiver position that maybe we didn't foresee. Could it be Colin Johnson? Great to see him back on the practice field, playing well. He was a standout last summer, and he had that Achilles injuries, but he's back, and he's playing really well. Good for the 6'6" wide receiver out of Texas. I do just want to update you guys before we bounce out of here on the rest of the Giants training camp schedule. They practice on Friday, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Then they're off on Saturday, back on the football field on Sunday at 10 a.m. Then they practice Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week, off Wednesday, and they close it out on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm off tomorrow, but I think I want to do some training camp talk as well. So if you want a video tomorrow on training camp, hit that thumbs up icon, and we'll do one in front of the famous fridge. Shout out to Mr. Bill Hardnett if he is watching this video. I appreciate everyone for tuning in to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. The support that you guys always show to this channel is awesome, but I'm asking for a favor. I hate the Cowboys, and I hate when Tom Downey thinks he can talk smack about us here at Giants Now, and I want to catch him, that freaking weirdo. So hit that sub button and help us catch the Cowboys report.